Today I'm going to talk about two pathways to develop unconventional wisdom, unconventional knowledge, so that one can attain enduring peace and joy in one's life and be free from endless suffering. Buddha has said 25 centuries ago, wonderful words. To quote what he said, Dwe me bhikkhave dhamma hoja bhagiya. Disciples, there are two things that lead to development of unconventional wisdom. I translate the Pali term vajja as unconventional special wisdom, because the Pali term vajja has wonderful meanings and broad connotations. Basically, the term means knowledge, but not ordinary knowledge. It is a special knowledge that one can develop if one walk on two spiritual paths. This term vajja needs a lot of explanation, but here in this discourse, Buddha only refers to special wisdom, unconventional wisdom, by means of which a person become enlightened and be able to eradicate mental impurities and endless suffering in endless lives. Now let me continue what Buddha said. Katame dwe, what are those two parts? Samatha Vipassana. And the first is called the Samatha. And the second part is called the Vipassana. Most of you may know these two words frequently mentioned by teachers, even though some of you may not understand in detail about what these two words mean. First, the word samatha means calm. It's a combination of two words, smooth and ta. Smooth means the root, it means to calm. Ta means being or out of being calm or out of being calm. This is a general term which refers to various trainings described in Buddhist texts. Various mental trainings are instructed by the Buddha to use different pathways depending on one's basic preference and characteristics. Mindfulness meditation alone is not the only path for mental training. There are other various techniques. Buddha's teaching is far ahead of modern science. In today's time, technology has made a lot of advances in many areas, especially in matters of physical science. Buddha's teaching on the mind and mental analysis and mental management are ahead of time. It is a very broad subject recorded in Buddhist texts. Even by briefly understanding how broad and how wide Buddha's teachings are on mind management and mind analysis and mental development, you will be very amazed that Buddha is such a wonderful person, gifted with the highest wisdom and talent. Now let me continue explaining the word Samatha. So there are altogether 40 subjects of meditation training. In other words, there are 40 methods and 40 modes which one can choose based on one's preference and one's basic characteristics. Of all those 40 methods of Samatha meditation, they are basically aimed at developing mental calm and mental peace. The term Samatha means mental calm, inner calm. It is the result of the Samatha practice. Human mind is very wonderful. It is really hyperactive energy. Mind functions at a higher speed, which is incomparable to any other thing. In today's time, we have light and sound, which are very speedy and traveling to great distances. The light is speediest of everything. The mind is much more quicker than the way light travels. And one discourse Buddha even mentioned about the nature of mind. Let me go what Buddha said. Yawan chidam bhikkhve na sukram upama bhikkhadu lahu privada midam chaita. Disciple, this monk and this mind is of high speed. It arises and passes within speediest time. How speedy, how rapid it arises and passes is very difficult to measure, even in conventional measurement methods. So this means that human consciousness is the most speediest thing in the world, incomparable in terms of speed, how it fast arises and passes. In order to harness the mind, one need to use skillful method in order to establish and develop mental calm. Buddha instructed 40 subjects of meditation. But in the actual Pali text, there's another meditation called the Vijnana Kasina. So altogether maybe 41. And those 40 methods of meditation for development of inner calm, Buddha instruct easy ones and difficult ones, sometimes shock treatment. Shock treatment means very drastic practice Those kind of drastic practices are called the Asubha Kamatana, reflecting on repugnant nature of the body by using various state of dead corpse, so that human ego and human attachments and human craving are shaking up violently. But such kind of meditation methods are not suitable for everyone. Among 40 subjects of meditation, Anapanasati meditation, which focus on in-breath and out-breath, is the easiest and the most suitable for everyone, regardless of the personal characteristics. So this is a basic explanation of the Samatha. Samatha focus on development of the inner calm and concentration, and slowly proceeding to more advanced progress. In this case, a meditator can attain a sustained degree of concentration, which lead to attainment of the first state of jhana, and the second state of jhana, and the third state of jhana, and the fourth state of jhana. Most people nowadays, if they properly practice anapanasati meditation or mindfulness meditation, they can attain the first and the second jhanas, even though the reaching up to the third and fourth may take a longer time. Most people can attain up to the second jhana if they are committed and very serious, and if they can maintain consistent mindfulness. So the purpose of samatha is to focus on particular object of meditation and then develop mental concentration in inner calm, and slowly increasing the degree and momentum of the inner peace by keeping one's attention and one's consciousness focus and fixed on the object of meditation, and which can lead to the attainment of jhana, not attainment of the part and fruition knowledge, nor development of insight knowledge. So this is purely samatha. Now let me explain the second pathway. This is called the Vipassana. Most people are quite familiar with the term Vipassana. Vipassana is a combination of three words from the grammatical perspective. We and passa and anat. We means specially. Passa is originally derivative of the disa. Disa means to see. And disa later changed to the passa. Anat means erof seeing specially. So Vipassana means erof seeing specially. Different from the way common people see. In the world, everybody sees themselves as me and mine, or Robert and John, etc. Everybody sees their family members and friends in conventional term, in conventional level. This is not Vipassana yet. It is only conventional understanding and conventional perceptions of conventional things. By means of Vipassana, a meditator starts seeing things differently, in different light, through different perspectives. This seeing is very much simultaneous process. It's not intentionally made. For example, when a person meditates, during meditation, he observes the pain. Let's say a few moments after sitting, 15 minutes, or 20 minutes after sitting. Some people may start experiencing pain in some parts of the body. When pains arise, it is not pleasant. They feel the pain. Most people, they feel pain. They don't like it. If possible, they want to throw away the pain, like the way they want to throw away any unwanted thing. But they cannot do it because the pain is associated with the body. After long sitting for a while, and some sort of the bodily elements become tense out of that imbalance of the bodily elements inside, and the pain start coming up. The body itself doesn't know the pain. Only the mind feel that unpleasant sensation. Modern science may say the brain receptor accepts it and it's known by the brain and experienced by the brain. But in Buddhist texts, it is said, my experience, the pain sensation. In the case pains arise, a meditator has no way but to contemplate on the pain. When he contemplates on the pain slowly increase. Aversion or anger arise. He doesn't want it. Even though he doesn't like it, he cannot do it with it. He has no power. Go away. This is my house. You have no right to be here. He cannot command. Like the way he can keep his house closed so that strangers and stray animals cannot get into the house. But in this case of the pain, he cannot. He is powerless. A meditator is powerless. Then he starts seeing the pain is something which arises in the body and the mind is feeling. And in such a situation, if a meditator trying to put Robert or Jenny into the pain, Robert is feeling the pain. Jenny is having hard time with the pain. Then suffering, more suffering will follow. So the best solution is to set aside the notions of I and me. Just observe the pain without claiming ownership. This pain belongs to me. This is my pain. Instead, just observe the pain as the pain. Nobody is pain. It doesn't belong to anyone. And the meditator is not Robert and not Jenny. It is just an impersonal mindfulness, observing it. That impersonal mindfulness has no identity, no ID, no passport, no social security number. It is just only mindfulness itself. Observing the pain. And with a strong mindfulness and with a lot of determination, a meditator keep on observing the pain. He starts seeing the true nature of the pain. There is some sort of heat, there is some sort of motion, there is constant arising and passing, like a constant vibration. He starts seeing that. If his mindfulness is more stronger and more intense, the pain starts showing its characteristic. It is not stable. In the beginning, it is very terrible and very threatening. To share my own experience, when I start sitting in meditation for the first 3 months, during the first few weeks, I feel I was sitting on top of very sharp edge pebble, penetrating deep into my buttock. It's very terrible and very sharp pain. Because of my young age and energy, I can observe. After a few days of confrontation with the pain, I start seeing the pain slowly, a combination of heat and motions, which is full of motion, unstable nature, and it breaks down to pieces. My mindfulness chip away all those hard and terrible pain, and I see the pain totally disappear. I feel very light and joyous, and then I note it as instructed by my teacher, and that pain never come back. Even now, when I sit, that pain never come back. So this is how one starts seeing there is no power to manipulate over the pain. Just only accept as it is. I use mindfulness as powerful tool to cope with the pain, to manage the pain, to manage one's feeling, to overcome aversion, to rid of one's expectation. Let this pain disappear. No expectation is necessary. That's how Vipassana lead a meditator to see things differently. For a normal person who never have any knowledge of meditation, when pains arise, he start feeling pain, he start complaining, he start groaning, he's become restless. He may seek some tablets and medicine. If the situation is very serious, he may go to the clinic or hospital and complaining and feeling upset with the facial expressions and bodily manners are very painful, even to look at that person. Because he thought the pain belonged to him. The body parts are his own. He claimed the ownership. So that's where sufferings start. That's where sufferings originated. And Vipassana practice, a meditator, trying to develop that capacity, that wonderful, unconventional way of seeing things. That's why it is called Vipassana. Vipassana is a very wonderful practice to make life livable, to make life complete. It is enhancement of life. It is spiritual enhancement too, to make life more livable. So this is what Vipassana means. By practice of Vipassana, special knowledge known as insight knowledge develops. Most of you may be quite familiar with the various kinds of insight knowledge because meditation teachers explain about those occasionally so that you can be inspired. Develop more insight knowledge and the capacity to see things differently on unconventional way is simultaneous process and spontaneous process. It doesn't need to be created intentionally. It is not based on speculation. It's not based on Buddhist philosophy. It is true experience which comes out of the truth. This is the basic explanation of Vipassana. By practice of Vipassana, one starts seeing things and different way and different from ordinary people's perception, so that one can cope with pain and suffering. Now, let me explain another experience, emotion, such as stress, confusion, anger, sorrow. Such kind of mental agitations are a big problem for everybody, because life is full of twists and turns. We want to live life in our own terms and conditions, but we have no power to set terms and conditions on our own, to our preference. Life has its own terms and conditions. Those terms and conditions are very difficult to accept. These terms and conditions are called the Loka Dhamma in Buddhist texts. Loka Dhamma means, Loka means life in the world. Dhamma means way, the way of life, the way of the world. The way of the world is full of positive and negative. We always want positive. We don't want negative. Why we have to live through positive experience? We are very much elated and happy. We grew arrogant and forgetful. We want to hold on to those kind of positive, pleasant, happy things forever. Why we have to live through negative experience? We are disappointed. We are devastated, and we are upset. And in some cases, we even lost our mind. We don't know where to turn for help, for comfort. This is the way life is. This is the way the world is. This is the world existence is. Not only human beings, all living beings. If you look around you, you will see every living creature. The moment they wake up with the sunrise, they start moving, looking for food. Daily survival is one important issue of life, one important issue of being alive. So even small animals, they have to look for food. This is the time of life. While they are looking for food, they become the food of bigger animals. So sad. We humans are very lucky because we have a lot of privilege. We have a lot of advantage over animals. We have food readily available in the refrigerator, in the restaurant, in the grocery. We have the very good shelter with the roof and the walls secure and safe. While animals don't have such kind of privilege. They have to live in the under the bush, in the holes, in the dens, in the trees, in a very shaky and very ramshackle nest, ready to be blown away by the storms. They have no clothing the moment they bow. But this is unique characteristic. Even when we were born, we have nothing on. Our parents wrap around us with blankets and clothes. Human beings are privileged in many ways. We have to appreciate our existence as a human being. Living life alone as a human being is not enough. we have to develop, we have to nurture our intellect in our mind so that we can live life to the fullest, regardless of the challenge, regardless of ups and downs and good and bad times. Meditation is just only a spiritual tool to make your life livable. It's a very wonderful training. So in the case of the emotion, which I have already explained, it's very difficult for many people. If a person has no knowledge or no training in meditation, situation is much more tragic. Some people, they cannot find a way out. They try to dominate their life. This way, they're trying to end their suffering. For a meditator, especially experienced meditator, he has a great advantage over those unmeditated people. The moment anger arises, he can observe that anger. And he can keep it under control. He can manage his anger well by means of mindful observation and not claiming the ownership of the anger. I'm angry. This person is saying this and doing this to me. He no longer has such kind of improper thinking, wrong thinking. Instead, he just observes the anger. He just watch it. And he doesn't let anger grow. This is how a meditator can pick up his anger before it grew stronger and stronger. You can try this when you go back. It's very wonderful training. This is the one benefit of Vipassana. So Vipassana is the really wonderful pathway to overcome suffering, to cope with suffering, to manage one's emotion. So this is what Vipassana means. Vipassana is quite different from Samatha, but in the initial stage of practice, both Samatha and Vipassana are very much the same. Why? In Vipassana meditation, you have to start keeping the mind calm and develop that mental calm and that inner calm and make it stronger and intensive by focusing on the primary object of meditation. In this case, you focus on the rising and falling of abdomen, keeping the mind there, being aware of the rising movement and falling movement of the abdomen. In synchronizing your attention and mindfulness with the movement of the abdomen. This way you keep the mind fully occupied. In very good case of meditation for a good meditator, he will be even able to march his consciousness into the movement of the abdomen. The same thing can be applied to observing the in-breath and out-breath. In the case of watching in-breath and out-breath, a good meditator will be able to observe the in-breath and out-breath. The moment it got into the nostril, and there's a warm touch and warm sensation of the air touching with the tip of the nostril. He just keep aware of that. And the moment the out-breath come out, and he know that touching sensation, he just keep that mindfulness of breathing. His mindful breathing grew stronger and stronger. He starts seeing the consciousness slowly march into the flow of the air. This is how a meditator start developing the inner calm. So development of inner calm or samadhi is basic aspect in both practice. In the times of the Buddha himself gave instruction to the disciple how to practice meditation, how to maintain concentration in various stages of the practice till one attained path and fruition knowledge and nibbana. On the way, some meditators, they attain all jhana states. From those jhana states, they get out and they see how the ecstatic joy, how that wonderful intense calm and concentration comes and go, how they are subject to rising and passing, how they have inherent characteristic of impermanency. They try to reflect on those three characteristics and slowly develop the insight knowledge and leading to attainment of the path and fruition knowledge up to the fourth stage of enlightenment. This is how from the Samatha, they attain jhana, and from jhana, they just develop the Vipassana, and based on reflection on three characteristics, they attain the path and fruition knowledge. So Samatha can lead to attainment of jhana and also development of insight knowledge and attainment of nibbana. In Vipassana practice, in the initial process, a meditator develops inner calm and concentration to a certain degree. Then, based on whatever appears during his sitting and walking, such as pain, various sensations, and various mental conditions, and hearing sounds, all the physical and mental phenomena, he starts seeing all those things are in a constant state of arising and passing. Nothing is stable. Everything is just a constant state of the transition. Nothing lasts even for a fraction of a second. He starts seeing things clearly. In some cases, some meditator, they see very clearly in every detail. Some meditator, they feel the body is like a unstable bag of the sands and full of holes. And the sand just coming off from the back quickly and falling down. In the same way, they see all the mental phenomena quickly arising and disappearing. And the noting mind also quickly disappearing, arising and disappearing in rapid succession. Before they develop such kind of insight knowledge, they have to overcome pain. They have to be able to manage wandering thoughts. If they are successful in observing the pain, coping with the pain, and overcoming the pain, and also observing wandering thoughts and letting them go, slowly wandering thoughts and pains become infrequent. They become less and less. The body becomes very, very fine. Some meditators, they no longer feel the presence of body. They no longer feel the touch of the body with the cushion. The body itself becomes very light and very subtle. The mind too becomes very subtle and very well behaved. Once they reach that kind of state, the mind becomes very wonderful. When they reach such kind of progressive state, meditation is very wonderful. And Vipassana meditation, meditators should know there are ups and downs, down times and good times. In both cases, a meditator needs to observe mental reaction. When he is going through good situation, he must observe the feeling of joy, feeling happy with a wonderful experience. And in case he is going through better experience, he must not be disappointed. This is the way things are. He has to have the right attitude. This way, he can overcome. In meditation, letting go is very important thing, very important to be successful meditator. We must be able to let go. Even though we cannot let go, one day we have to let go of our body. We have to let go of our beloved ones, our beloved things, our possessions. Vipassana teach us how to develop this attitude of letting go. Being able to let go is a very wonderful development, which you can acquire through Vipassana practice. So Vipassana meditation is very wonderful training. By explaining these two words, I'm sure you will understand basic meaning of the Samatha and Vipassana. Now I would like to continue what Buddha says. Samatha bhavito kamatha manubodhi. When Samatha is practiced and developed, what kind of result it can bring about? These are the questions of the Buddha. Buddha answer regarding this. Very simple. Very simple. Samatha bhavito saitam bhavayati. This is Buddha's answer. Monks, when samatha is developed, the mind is developed. Very wonderful. Very wonderful saying. When we develop samatha, when we make progress in samatha practice, the mind develops. The mind develops as a result of samatha practice. So, this is a very important statement of the Buddha. By practice of samatha, one develops one's consciousness. Development of the mind is not to be done by means of physical medicine. For the physical development, we use different kind of medicine, protein-rich food, or protein powders, and other necessary vitamins, and physical exercise. For development of mind, there's no vitamin for mind. even in the well-known pharmacies, everywhere in the world. Even the most famous labs cannot produce mental development medicine. Mental development medicine is only available in Buddha's teaching. It is to be developed inside you, not to be developed inside Buddhist texts. You can develop your mind by practice of Samatha meditation or Vipassana meditation. Because Vipassana meditation also lead to development of the mind. I have already explained in the initial phase of the practice, both Samatha and Vipassana are the same. Because one need to develop one's mind, especially in this case, the ability to keep the mind calm, focused, concentrated. This kind of characteristic is called Pali, in Pali, Samatha, Samadhi. Samadhi is a Pali word. It means accumulated mental states by being able to fix the mind in one particular points of the meditation, one particular object of meditation. Now let me continue what Buddha explained. Chaitan Bhavitam Kamatha Manubodhi. To translate these words, a developed mind, what kind of result a developed mind can bring about? What kind of result a developed mind can produce? This is the word Buddha means. Now let me quote what Buddha said. Yorago sopahiyadi. Yorago, whatever form and whatever type of attachment and clinging, sopahiyadi will be reduced and will be removed in the long-term practice. So, when the mind and our consciousness develop, there will be the ability which develop in the mind, the ability to slowly detach from those love things, those DRS and wonderful things one used to addicted to. For example, the fast food, chocolates, and durian, or alcohol, or narcotic drugs, or one's dearest significant loved ones and loved family members, one's dearest possessions, etc. One will be able to develop this capacity of decoupling and detachment from those loved things as a result of mental development. Why this happen? Because the mind starts seeing things, even though one trying to hold on to those things as me and mine, they are to be forever with me, never to be parted. One day we have to part. We have to part with what we love and those whom we love. There's no way we can hold on to. Countless people, millions and billions of people live on the face of the earth. They don't want to be separated from their loved ones, but they have to leave sooner or later. This is how mental development can cause the capacity to detach. This is the mind's power. Those who have such kind of mental power, they are in a very tragic state. You can see such kind of sad people in tragic conditions in San Francisco and United Nations Plaza and Drug Rehabilitation Center. People see young people, old people from all walks of life. They cannot get out of that drug addiction. They become homeless. their life becomes miserable because they don't know how to get out of it. It's a very sad situation. This is all based on raga, attachment and addiction. Raga means attachment and addiction. With the mental development, the capacity of the mind will develop to be detached from those dears and loved ones or those addicted things. This is what Buddha said. Now let me continue to explain regarding Vipassana. Buddha continued to say, Vipassana bhikkhve bhavida kamata manubodhi. Disciple, when Vipassana is fully practiced and fully developed, what kind of benefit, what kind of result it can produce? This is the questions of the Buddha. Buddha answered by himself, Pinya bhavayati. By practicing Vipassana, wisdom will develop. In this case, wisdom is not ordinary wisdom, unconventional wisdom. Conventional wisdom, you can get it the moment you start speaking. Your parents put you in the pre-KG and KG, and then elementary school, then middle school, then junior high school, and then college and university. And you have a lot of the conventional knowledge and conventional wisdom, which made for earning a living, to make life is successful, to be able to manage life for daily survival. Your parents arrange you to do that. But for unconventional special wisdom, you cannot get it in the very famous IB college. You cannot get it, this kind of unconventional wisdom, in world famous university in college, except in Buddha's college. In this case, Buddha's college is a meditation center. You must find how to develop that wisdom through practice of Vipassana. Buddha continued to explain much further. Now let me quote. Pinya bhavida kamata manubodhi. When this unconventional wisdom develops, what kind of benefit, what kind of result it can produce? This is a very wonderful question made by Buddha himself, raised by Buddha himself for the audience. Ya avijja sabahidi. This is the answer. It means that whatever kind and whatever form of delusion there is, it will be reduced and removed. Very brief answer. So by developing of this unconventional wisdom available, developable through Vipassana practice, one can reduce the degree of illusion and delusion. In other words, ignorance. We are living under illusions in our daily life. We always assume ourselves we are going to be here in this world forever. Even though we are getting older and older, day after day, month after month, year after year, we are always expecting, hopeful that the year 2023 up to 2050 will always remain for us. We always hopeful for another year to remain alive. Because we want to entertain ourselves with the notions of this illusion, this wishful thinking. Our illusion is very heavy and very thick. Even when we are in the ICU, on the hospital bed, we expect to recover quickly with the help of medication, with the help of the physician, because we want to be alive forever. There are even some people who are claiming you are going to get eternal life. You are going to be in eternity forever in the heaven. We believe it. We believe it too. All this happened because we are living under illusions. The mind itself is master illusionist. Not only very famous magician in the world, such as David Blaine and other famous magicians, they are very minor if compared to the mind. Our mind is very wonderful magician. It is a wonderful illusionist. It can create everything as real. As long as that mind is unenlightened, as long as that mind is undeveloped through Vipassana practice, we will always remain under illusion. Buddha said, by means of Vipassana practice, unconventional wisdom will develop. Very wonderful statement of the Buddha. Now, Buddha also say this wonderful statement. Let me quote what Buddha said. Ragu pakile tanwa bekwe chaitan na vimochti. Disciple, in this world, the mind, consciousness, which is always bound by clinging, will not be liberated. So this means that as long as our consciousness is full of clinging, full of holding on to, full of grabbing, then the mind will not liberate. We also hold on to our me, our dear mind is always the first priority in our life. After that, we hold on to our parents, our children, our friends, our own properties, and our own possessions. In my case, I have a very strong attachment to my books. Even small clipping of newspaper, I always give it. But now, no more. I have a feeling of detachment now. Even the most cherished books, I just have the right attitude now. So you have to develop this kind of attitude. It's very wonderful. Now Buddha continued to say, Aweju bakilita pinya naba wiyati. When wisdom is polluted or bound with the illusion, it will not further develop. Wisdom will not develop if it's still bound by illusion. Now Buddha concludes his talk. Iti ko bhikkhave raga viraga seta vimoti, avijja viraga pinya vimoti. Disciple, this way, by being able to detach, mental freedom will happen and will be achieved. By being able to remove illusion, the freedom of intellect will be achieved. So yesterday I have already mentioned there are two highest goals in Buddhist practice. One is mental freedom, and the second is intellect freedom, freedom of intellect. These are very simple words, but very deep words, which needs a lot of explanation. So Buddha said, if we are able to remove attachment and clinging, we will attain mental liberation. If we are able to remove illusion, we will attain the freedom of intellect, which is enduring and permanent, which can lead to lasting joy and happiness. May all of you be able to attain these two mental freedom and freedom of intellect from egos and from endless suffering. May you progress in your practice and attain Nibbana. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu.